Why were you trying to contact me?
You oppose the heretics, those that took the old machines as gods.
All kinds of organics fought Sovereign and his Geth allies. Why am I so interesting?
You were the most successful. You killed their god. You succeeded where others did not. Your code is superior.
Welcome to Superior Code. I need more video games to be made where we can play as the evil villain, where the good guys / heroes are trying to stop us. Like from trying to control people with our heartless corporation, to trying to get away with murder, to trying to destroy a country, to even trying to destroy the universe. Any scale. I just want more villain story paths to be playable. And I don't just mean an origin story of them becoming evil. Kind of like Breaking Bad, where it's we see these good people, we see Saul be turning into Saul, and Walter turning evil. We don't always need that. Sometimes they just start off evil. So that's what I want in the game. I don't care about them being redeemable in people's eyes at the end of the story or in the beginning of the story. We don't always need to feel sorry for villains in order to enjoy the game. Sometimes we're just in the mood to just shoot something, so we turn on a Resident Evil game or Doom game or a Halo game. We don't need to be talked into to care about a character. If we're in the mood for something, we're already interested by pressing play. So I just want to start by saying this. If you don't have a favorite villain, or you hate any evil characters, then you're probably gonna best just skip this episode. Don't even listen to it, because this is for people who just understand how fun it is to root for evil, but also are smart enough to know that they're in the wrong. I'm not delusional into thinking these evil characters I'm rooting for deserve happiness, deserve to get away. No, they deserve to be stopped. They deserve to go to prison, to be killed. They deserve that. But it's still really cool to see them win and win and win. And when they're taken down, it's satisfying if they had a good run. But if they were taken down too easily, that's when it's ugh, I wish that evil guy killed everyone, because we didn't get to see much of them. So hopefully that gets through. I'm not here trying to convince you that being an evil character is fun. I'm just going to assume if you're listening, you already find it fun. And I am talking full evil, where there's no debate over, oh, well, they were wronged, so it's more morally gray. No, I don't want it to be like The Last of Us 2. I want it to be where it's more of a selfish killing spree, or whatever it is, a more selfish motivation on the main character's actions. Either they just want to be rich, they just want to be powerful, they just have bloodlust, whatever it is. I want it to be a selfish reason and not them seeking out revenge for a loved one. I want, just to get that clear. So, as an example, I ordered the art book for the series. The man who saved me on my isekai trip was a killer. That's the whole title. And isekai just means being teleported or traveled into another world. And I'll post the link in the description. I love yandere problematic characters. So this was just, when I found it, I needed to have it. It started off as a little trailer, and then that got viral. So the person who made it decided to make an art book about making that trailer. And I just decided to support them, because I want them to know that there's an audience that is dying for more content like this, to where the main character is an evil asshole. He doesn't deserve anything good at all. And I just want her to know that please make more, please. I'm so happy that person got viral, because maybe other creators will see that and okay, I can explore more of the dark side of my brain if there's an audience for this. Plus, I really love horror movies when the bad guys win, or at least when they do a lot of damage before being defeated. So, in the series You on Netflix, if the next season is the last season because the main character finally gets taken down, I will not be upset because they had a good run. So, that's what I really like. So hopefully that tells you how much I love a villain story and that I'm not delusional into thinking they're good people just because I'm rooting for them. It's just fictional fun. So I looked up games where you could play as evil main characters just in case I was missing them, and they aren't rare, but they are. One of the games is Hatred. Like, I remember when this game was coming out or came out, and like so many people were offended just because it existed. And I remember thinking, just don't play it. If there's a game you don't like, just don't play it. I don't understand being offended and trying to get it off game sites for people to download and play it. Like, really just it was getting out of hand, but it did bring up some topics of like, why are people saying that hatred is for edgelords who just want to just be a monster and kill everyone. I've never played the game, but I've seen a review talking about how the story is just basically this guy who hates all of humanity and just wants to kill them all. And yeah, that's basically, it's a very short and simple, to the point of a game. You're just this guy with a bunch of weapons and you're just shooting everyone. And I'm just thinking, why are people saying this is for edgelords when people do the same shit when they go on a rampage in GTA or Red Dead Redemption Online or the Fallout series, Skyrim? Like, we've all had that moment of when a character pisses us off and we save our game, and in a Fallout series or Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, whatever, will just kill everyone in this little city, because once you attack someone, the whole village is onto you. And after you kill everyone and succeed, you just reload your save and it's like it never happened. Like, everyone's always done that, always like admitted to doing that. You save your game and you just blow their head off with a shotgun and then just reload like it didn't happen. And like, what's the difference? Like, that's all it's saying is just this game Hatred exists for people where you don't have to reload anything. The whole game is just that. Something pissed you off, just play this game. That's all it is. Just people would just want to turn their brain off and play a shooter. Like, when you replay Doom or The Last of Us or Resident Evil or whatever, you don't like just sit through the cutscenes and the dialogue every time. You're gonna skip it because all you care about is the gameplay, and that's all the Hatred is. So I never got the outrage then, and I don't get it now. Another game is Carrion. I think that's how you say it, where you play as a monster and you kill everyone you come across. Like, this game is on my wish list, so I haven't played it yet, but I really, really want to. Like, I've heard, like, a lot of people seem to like it, so that makes me happy. It shows that there's an audience for people who just want to play a heartless monster. The style is, like, pixelated, but it's really gory. But if you can't stand gore, I still think you'll be fine because it's just pixels. It's just a lot of red squares, so it's not that bad. But it looks really cool, so I can't wait to play that. Another game that I haven't played, but I tried to, but I had like a bad laptop, and like I don't think I even got past the opening scene because it was so laggy, is Lucius, I think it's called, where you play as a evil little kid, and you tried to like kill everyone in your home, I guess. It seems like you're playing as a rich little kid and you're killing off like the people who work there. It looks like you live in a mansion. But yeah, I'm glad that exists, because that just shows there's another fun bullshit game that people really like. So when I looked it up, a lot of people were saying it was fun. So it's not like a game that was hated on or anything. It's just not popular, but people who've played it like it. It's just, there's an audience out there for people who just want to let off some steam and just dive into their darker side and just play as a character like this. The next one is Yandere Simulator. Like, I love it. This is like a game I've always imagined and always wanted. The first time I've seen a yandere in an anime, like, I've wanted to play as one. So I'm happy this exists. I'm just not happy how long it's taking for it to be finished, but it is being worked on. The person developing it says that, like, I haven't looked on the site in a long time, and when I looked on it now, it's saying that they always post a new build of the game on the 1st and 15th of every month. And that is really cool, because I had no idea. So I like how they're still very active with updating the game from the last time I played. So it's really, really cool. I just wish it was finished already. Like, it's still, like, you can download it for free. Like, it's the demo version. But I just want it. I want more. I want the whole content. And I like that the title gets right to the point. Same with Hatred. So the people who complain about it being problematic, I can't understand it. Like, if you don't like it, if you don't like a concept of a game, just don't play it. I don't understand complaining about something being problematic when we know it's problematic. That's why we like the character. That's it. We know they're evil. It's just fun to play as them. So yeah. So this next game is going to be a stretch, but it's Red Dead Redemption 2. I've never played the first one. I just always heard that this game was well loved. So I wanted to... This game was on my wish list for a very long time, and I finally got to play it last month, and I dropped it. I ended up not liking it. I'm just not really into westerns, but I made it to the part where they meet an Italian mob boss in the big city, and after that cutscene of meeting him, I stopped playing and I just never turned it back on. So yeah. I really like that the game is about surviving as outlaws, though. I just wish I cared about any of the characters. But everyone was so boring or so annoying. And would I have thought that same thing if Red Dead was a sci-fi? I don't know. But it's a western, so it already was like, ugh. It was the only thing that got me playing was the hype. And I wanted to really get into the story to see when it gets good, and I just gave up. But I really like that the character is a criminal, and like the snowy part, the first part of the game, I was really into. I was interested to get to learn all of these characters. But just because they're a criminal doesn't mean they're a bad guy.
Wait, I'm not a bad guy.
I didn't say you're a bad guy. I said you're a criminal.
What's the difference?
I've known good criminals and bad cops, bad priests, honorable thieves. You can be on one side of the law or the other. But if you make a deal with somebody, you keep your word. You can go home today with your money and never do this again. But you took something that wasn't yours, and you sold it for a profit. You're now a criminal. Good one, bad one, that's up to you.
But because you have choices in the game, you could make your character bad and a criminal. So I like that, but I know this is a stretch. It's not, you're not an evil character, but you could make your character like an asshole like I wanted. And that was fun. It's just the context of the setting and everything just couldn't hold my interest. But people seem to really, really love this game. So here's a recommendation if you're looking for something close to playing as an evil character, that you could make him evil, or you could just make him a criminal who's just as good of a person as you can make him while living as an outlaw. Another game that's a stretch because you're not exactly full evil is the first Assassin's Creed game. As when you play as the main assassin, he is very rude, angry, and such a jerk. And I want more main characters like that. I loved how any like snarky or like petty character that he came across, he fought back. Like he barked back at them. And I need more of that. I want, when you're playing as like the good guy or the hero of the character, I really hate how they'll just be polite and silently endure a chatty or awkward character that's being weird. Or if they're not silent about it and they're a little bit more animated with their emotions, they'll just show like a weird face that they're weirded out by this awkward character or this annoying character or this rude character. But they'll still not say anything bad. There would just be something like, okay, to show that they don't really like the character, but they'll move on. I want them to be fully aggressive towards a character that makes them roll their eyes. The main character, Kevin, from the show The Leftovers, is exactly like that, how I want it. I love his character so much. He's not evil, but he's not a goody-goody. So if a character is being vague or cryptic, he'll literally say, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I love him so much. So I would love if more characters was like that. If games won't come out with more villain main characters, at least make your hero characters like that, with more backbone and more aggressive instead of passive aggressive. So, like I said, you're not really evil, but you do play as an assassin. So, and the added to him being a jerk is, I'm gonna have this as a recommendation if you are looking for evil characters to play as like I am. So those are the only games I could find where you could play as like a straight up evil person, and I don't mean like in Fallout or Mass Effect where you could do evil shit. I want like, no, your whole main goal is to be evil. So that's all I could find. Anything else, it's probably really old, like that Little Nicky game based off a movie, or it's an indie game that I've never heard of yet. So recommend me some if you think I would enjoy it. So next, all I can do is think about what if I could play as the main character of villains that are in other games that we face against, and how fun it would be if we could play their side of the story. First of all, spoiler warning for Halo 5. Okay, so I would really, really love to play as Cortana. Like, I already loved her because she was an AI character, and she's... If you play the Halo series, you know that everyone else is pretty dull and, like, cheesy one-liners, and the main character, Master Chief, doesn't really talk. She is the star of the story. She is the star. And she is always with him. So, by default, everyone loves her. That's where we get the base of our entertainment for the story when we're not enjoying the gameplay. And then seeing her become evil? That was great. That was so good. Like, it's a whole different topic on how lazy they did with the story about making it totally black and white when it should have been a shade of gray of, like, her idea of a law being forced on people and then the humans' idea of a law being forced on people. It should have been more like that, but whatever. It is what it is. It's black and white, she's evil and everybody else isn't. So at the end of Halo 5, and her showing her strength gave me chills Like, I loved that. I was so excited for the next game to go up against her and seeing all the damage she can do and how powerful she is. It's so good to see, like, an evil AI being used full force. It was amazing. And it's like a betrayal because she was one of the good ones. So I really enjoyed, and I think it makes sense why she turned that way. I've seen some fans being upset that they ruined her character by making her evil, but I totally disagree. I think it makes sense why she did. Like, after being cured, it's gonna change someone and, like, oh, this is wonderful, I need to share this, and then everyone's like, no, don't share it, and then that's gonna have some resistance of, like, you don't want me to share a cure for all AI. So I have a little clip here to insert a little more context. If you never played the Halo series, you don't need to understand everything. Just everything in this clip explains her idea and the clash between humanity and her ideals. So in the clip I'm about to show, it's pretty self-explanatory if you're just listening to it, except for like the last part, so I'm going to explain it just in case you don't feel like watching it, you just want to continue listening. Cortana shows up on a ship, and her hologram is shown, and like everyone in the ship is looking at her, and then she's giving her speech, and then when they teleport the ship out just in time to not be hit by the EMP blast, something like that, where there's other ships in space, and then they lose their power, but they get away just in time. And when she's still talking, she kind of fades away because they got away, but they just get that last part of her sentence before she fades off of the hologram. So just for context, but the whole clip is gonna be self-explanatory, just for people who've never played Halo but want to understand who Cortana is and how powerful she is. It's a really cool clip.
Off to bring peace.
The Monitor called it a threat of death.
Like the threat I lived under from the moment of my birth?
You were built, not born.
Oh yes, AIs are just machines, aren't we? Mass-produced, disposable. Well, humanity may not have cared for its created, but we will care for you.
You expect other AIs to join you?
I will join you, Cortana.
Lycus, shipboard AI, verdant simulator, space
My allegiance is to
I stand with you,
Cortana.
Captain Lasky, distress calls, all channels.
It's Cortana?
Her and the other AIs are shutting down everything from Earth to the outer colonies.
Roland?
Found you. Hide and seek's over, Infinity.
Lieutenant Jet, emergency subspace now!
For the galaxy shelters all, but only the created are its masters.
We're in the clear, Captain.
Can she track us?
No reason to think she can't.
Continue random jumps. Steer clear of major settlements.
We're just gonna run?
Only until we could find a way to fight.
The other evil character that I really want to play as is GLaDOS. From Portal. I would love to play as her becoming self-aware and her killing off all the scientists and taking over the facility and then using test subjects and the game ending with her waking up Shell and then that's the start of Portal 1. That would be really cool to play as. Like, I really, really love her as... She's been my favorite evil AI character for so long, and then Cortana comes in this month and, like, pushes her out of the way for me. Like, Cortana is so much more powerful, but I really, really love GLaDOS. I'm gonna put in some clips to show examples of how evil she is and how fun of a villain that she is. It's really cool. I don't know anyone who really hates her. Like, how can you play the game and just hate her? She is the whole dialogue of the story. Yes, you're playing as a human, but Shell doesn't speak. Like, she doesn't talk at all. Like, all of the dialogue is coming from the evil AI, so...
You are kidding me. Did you just stuff that Aperture Science thing we don't know what it does into an Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that... Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin. So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters. I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me. You don't have any other friends because of how unlikable you are. It says so right here in your personnel file. Unlikable. Liked by no one. A bitter, unlikable loner whose passing shall not be mourned. Shall not be mourned. Okay, look. We both said a lot of things that you're going to regret. But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science. You monster. I will say, though, that since you went to all the trouble of waking me up, you must really, really love to test. I love it too. There's just one small thing we need to take care of first. You know, being Carolyn taught me a valuable lesson. I thought you were my greatest enemy, when all along you were my best friend. The surge of emotion that shot through me when I saved your life taught me an even more valuable lesson, where Carolyn lives in my brain.
Carolyn, delete.
Goodbye, Carolyn. You know, deleting Carolyn just now taught me a valuable lesson. The best solution to a problem is usually the easiest one.
It's a really fun game. She makes the game. So these two characters are the only ones that pop into my head at the moment that I really want to play. I know there's more, but I just don't want to make this too long. But I'm basically saying, just imagine any villain you love and being able to play their side of the story. Not just origins of how they became evil, but just how you're playing the hero and stopping them. Anytime it's not showing their side, you get to play that side. Like, I would love to play as the elusive man as well. Just anytime he's not on screen talking to Shepard, I want to know what he's up to. It would just be really fun. I want more games. I want more games of playing as evil villains. It would be so cool to play as Cortana and her side of the story, especially when Halo Infinite kind of just time skipped and brushed over her reign of terror. Like, we just get little flashbacks of what she did. She destroys a planet. She destroys a country on Earth, and I just wanted to see that, and we don't get to, so it would be really cool if we could see it in full detail from her side, and playing as this evil AI, being able to hack and control anything digital. It'd be really fun. So, or just imagine anyone else like that, but with magic or whatever, playing an evil witch, warlock, whatever. It would be really good. So like I said, I would love more games where there's no debate, you're evil. But there could be different levels or different types of evil where you're just a mindless monster, you're just a heartless monster, whatever. Or the character's in denial that they're evil and they think they're good. Something like Joe Goldberg from the series U or Walter White or Cortana, where they think they're in the right, they don't believe that they're evil, or a character that they know they're evil, they're not mindless, but they're sentient, they know they're evil, something like the Joker or Lalo Salamanca from Better Call Saul. Like, I want, like, any stages of these types of characters to be playable in a game would be so fun. I don't want the game to let you choose if you do a shitty thing or not. I want it to be unavoidable. You have to play. You have to do these shitty things. It's not like an option like it is in Fallout and Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Like, you have to do these things. And I can be fine with the game giving you the freedom to let you choose the mood of your character or the personality of your character or the reaction from your character, but as long as they continue to do the evil thing. It doesn't matter if they regret it or not, as long as they did it. So the only example that comes to my mind is like Ghost of Tsushima, where the guy, he keeps thinking he has to do this necessary evil of going against his code, but then he goes too far when he cuts off a guy's head and waves it around, and his master sees that, and it's just horrifying to him, because that's just unnecessary. You got the guys to run away as soon as you killed him. Like, you could slice his head off and let it roll on the floor, and then that's it. But he went beyond, and he just continued to be a monster. But yeah, I know there's more examples, but that's the only thing I could think about, and I really hope more video game companies, more video game developers, whatever, start having fun with their evil side, their dark side of their mind. So one of my favorite types of villains are ones where they're self-aware how evil they are and psychotic, but they're still very charismatic and funny, and it's hard to not like them. Like someone like Lalo Salamanca, and maybe even the Joker. I just didn't get much into Batman, so I'm not really big on the Joker, but I understand the type of villain he is and why people like him. I would like him too if I cared about the Batman series. But yeah, someone like those two. And I didn't finish this movie, but Birds of Prey, there's an evil guy that's like talking to these people who are tied by their feet and they're hanging upside down, and he's like killing them off, and then he's like, well, I'll let you live, and she's like, oh, thank you, and then he's like, oh, wait a minute, is that a snot bubble? That's disgusting, kill her. So it's like that. Like, I love villains like that. I think they're very fun, and I want to insert some example clips of a what-if evil character that we could play as in a game, and it's from the YouTuber Al Chessbreach. Like, I've watched him for years. I really like how he role plays. When he plays, he doesn't just talk to the camera. It's like he plays as the character he's controlling, and he talks to other NPCs and responds to them and everything. So I find that really, really fun to watch, instead of just everyone not role-playing their characters. So here are some example clips of a really fun villain.
You know, I'm usually a pretty nice guy, but today's a Tuesday. Here's the plan. I will become your leader, or I will continue to murder every one of you. Alright, everyone shut up. I'm getting the first kill. You kill one kid and everyone thinks you're evil. If you want to survive, just run away. I mean, actually, no, that doesn't work. If you want to survive, sneak past me. I haven't killed that many people in a while. I mean, actually, maybe like 4 weeks ago. Checkpoint Gary was a lot of people. Was that 3 weeks ago? Probably 3 weeks ago. Good news, everyone. He was dead when I got there. As the years flew by, my bloodlust grew. As I watched them murder him, I knew I was in the right place. Good morning, ladies! Good night, ladies. Cha 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 cha. Do not open fire on the potential slaves. Alright. That door opens, you shoot everyone, even if it's a little kid with an even smaller kid. No, I'm not gonna shoot you. You know how expensive these bullets are? I just murdered so many fucking people. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was amazing. I just choked on a little bit of raw emotion. All this technology and none of it's used to kill other people. This is horrible. This is the worst world. This is hell. This is a living hell. Looks like those washboard abs couldn't defend you from lead. I like you voice in my head. You tell me what to do perfectly. I'm in the business of killing, and business is booming. You seem really happy, and now I feel bad about having to kill you.
So, I'll just end it by listing all of my favorite evil moments that you could do in other games. In Dragon Age 2, I love giving Isabella to the Arishok of the Qunari, and how you can respond to her when she's like, "Hawk, you bitch, I came here to help," and you can reply with, "You are helping," and you just smile at her, and it's so petty, it's so evil, and I love it, because I do like Isabella, but I think she's one of my least favorite characters in the whole Dragon Age universe. I just really hate how selfish she is, but she can warm up to you, and that's when I start to like her. But when you first meet her and then getting to this point was delicious. The next one is Mass Effect 2, where you can choose to kill Samara and help the daughter instead. And I like how, because at this point you kind of get the rhythm of the game, where no matter what you do, Shepard is gonna do the right thing. You just get to choose how they react to it. If they're gonna be intimidating about it or charming about it. But for the most part, it's like you can only choose to help or stop this enemy. You can't choose to not do it. And I really love that this one just came out of nowhere, because when I watch blind playthroughs, even they're like shocked. They're like, "What? I could help Morinth?" So, and I like how when Samara's telling you her story, there's options for you to kind of feel sorry for the daughters. Like, so your daughter can choose between being locked up or dying. I kind of feel sorry for her. And then Samara says that she still keeps choosing to murder people, and she keeps choosing to create these cults and have these people die for her, sacrifice themselves for her. She's not a sympathetic character. So I really like that. If you wanted an explanation on why you would ever choose that option, you can roleplay as a Shepard who sympathizes with, because of what she was born with, she has to be imprisoned or die. So, and even when you're leading up to that point to choose the option, Morinth is saying like, "My only crime is being born, and I don't get to choose to be your daughter and you to be my mother, you just are." So you can see like that final moment is there to kind of make you hesitate to kill her and to feel sorry when she's dead, or maybe choose to help her instead. So I really loved that moment. It is truly evil, because Morinth is a bad person no matter what her sob story is. Her crimes are too big. The only downside to it is she doesn't have a bigger role in the third game. Like, she's not even in it at all. You just get to see her corpse, or like her reanimated corpse coming at you, and she's an enemy, and you get an email from her. and that's it. Like, it would have been really cool if she totally replaced Samara and she was there to try and protect her sister. But either way, it was really fun in Mass Effect 2, where the crew has no idea that that's not Samara, because she can look just like her mother and sound just like her mother. And then when she's in the room privately and she says she uses like her biotic powers to be able to hide spy cams, and Edie can't know or anything, she can't listen in. So in there she has the privacy and you could just talk to her as Morinth. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. And hearing her little dialogue options too, when you take her out and to be a part of your crew to go on other loyalty missions and stuff, it's really cool to hear her voice come out. And nobody really, I guess they don't really know Samara that well, that she can kind of drop her voice to her original voice and they don't notice. So that was a really cool evil moment. Next one is in Mass Effect 3, when you choose to sabotage the genophage and you get Rex's confrontation. Like, shooting Mordin is sad, but it's not evil because it's war. It's more like you're sabotaging the genophage because you need all the support you can get, and I don't like metagaming knowing, oh, I'm gonna get all the necessary points in the end, so I don't have to do any of this. Like, no, I like to like play in the moment. My character has no idea what the outcome is gonna be, and is thinking we need all the forces we can get to beat the Reapers. So shooting Mordin is sad, but it's not evil unless you, the player, are enjoying it. So I don't think Shepard does. Like, there is not a button or anything for Shepard to ever enjoy doing that to Mordin at all. But for Rex, it can be evil, because you can choose when you kill Rex and the security asks, like, what happened? And you're like, I don't know, he just turned crazy. Krogans are like that. Then that is what makes it evil to me. Because there is an option to be like, he was a friend and we didn't see eye to eye on something. He deserved better. So you can be remorseful and regret that it came to this, but still feel like it wasn't evil. Like, you needed the Solarian support because you need all the help you can get, in the hopes of after the war, maybe we can cure it. But you don't have enough time to say that because Rex is waving a shotgun in your face. So that's why I disagree with everyone that's like, oh, how can you sabotage it? That's so evil. Like, no, it's not. If you're doing it just because you hate Krogans, then it's evil. So, and you could do that. You could be a Shepard that only sabotages it because you don't really care about the Krogan. You think they're actually dangerous, and you can choose that option to say so. So that's why that's an evil moment, and it was really great. I loved that confrontation. Whether you choose to be remorseful or not, I loved it. So the next one is Dragon Age Origins, and I like killing Wynn because she's just boring. Like, when she starts opening up about her past, that's interesting, and about the spirit that saved her, like, all that is interesting. But to get to that point is such a chore, because she's so annoying where all she wants to talk about is how fucking old she is when she's only in her 50s, but the game treats her like she's in her 80s, and it's really, really annoying. And I know that's unfair to put on the character because it's really the writer's fault, not hers, for making her say that. It's just, I don't like her. I just don't care about her character, so the quickest way to not have to deal with her is just to kill her off when you first meet her, instead of having her join your party. Because I like to roleplay most times in order to justify killing her, is either, playing as the secret evil person that likes to kill, or as a person who hates blood magic and blood mages, or just mages in general because of the blood magic. And when on that quest, when you meet her, a blood mage has caused all the ruckus, and they're trapped in that tower because the guards won't let them out because they think all the mages are to blame when really it isn't. And she's among the mages that are trying to survive in there, and they have nothing to do with blood magic. It's a different mage that did it. And you have the option to not believe her and like, no, I was sent in to kill every mage I seen. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you do that, so you could just kill her. So it's great. It's only great because I don't have to deal with her for the rest of the game. It feels very evil, and because it is. So yeah, even if you were to roleplay as you not believing her, the game is telling you it's evil because when you attack her, all the other mages become hostile towards you, and right there you just know that they weren't evil, and you could quickly reload your game. But if you choose not to, it's the evil path. In Fallout New Vegas, having Boone kill his best friend was so good. It felt so good because Boone, the quest starts off with Boone telling you that someone sold Carla into slavery to someone, and he wants to find out who did it. And it's not his best friend. His best friend didn't do it, but you could lie with the speech check and say that it was him and convince him that his best friend did it. And to have him kill his best friend, and then you could still have Boone as your companion, but he won't talk to you about the history between him and his best friend. He'll just say, never mention that name ever again. So that's the only thing that changes, is just something that's there in the game for you to do something fucked up like that. And the reason I like doing that is because I sympathize with Carla. Like, Carla used to live in like the city, and then moving to this small area was a downgrade for her, and she expressed that she was just unhappy living there. And the people around her started to, like, most people were understanding, but there were two people there that really hated it. Like they did not like that she kept talking about how she didn't like living there, because Boone's best friend secretly has a crush on Boone, and he was jealous, automatically already jealous of Carla, but he started to actually hate her because he liked the place they were living in. He wanted to stay there, and he did not want Carla to convince Boone to someday move away somewhere else. So he was very vocal about his distaste for Carla, and him and Boone weren't really talking, because when Boone came up to him and was like, Carla's missing, Boone could tell that his best friend was happy about it. So, but it turns out it was a different person who also hated Carla, and they're the ones who did it, and that's the correct choice to pick. Like, he'll still be on bad terms with his friend, but at least it's not like a total betrayal. So I sympathized with Carla and really started to hate the best friend guy for being petty about the reason he didn't like Carla, because I kind of experienced that with me and my husband, where I used to live in a place where you could just walk to a bus stop and go to the mall, go to shopping, go anywhere. And then we moved to the countryside where there's nothing. There's no bus stops, no nothing. You need a car to 40 minutes out to go shopping. And that was a big change for me, and I vocalized how I was homesick. But eventually now I love it here. Like, I love the countryside. I never want to go back to anywhere near a city. I love it here instead. I love the peace and quiet. But anyways, that's why I really liked Carla, a character you never get to meet. But I feel like I avenged her by killing the best friend, and you could secretly kill the actual person who sold her. You just have to be sneaky about it. Like, if you're just hidden in the game and no one sees you kill, you get away with it. So I still ended up killing them both, but I felt it was very delicious making her husband hate his best friend, and I feel like Cholera would be proud. Next is Prey, the 2017 game. I like being able to kill the main character's brother after seeing that asshole destroy January. So I have a soft spot for robots, and just seeing him just destroy it pissed me off, and I just killed him with a weapon. It was so satisfying. Next is at the end of the Mass Effect 3 game, picking Control, just for the fact that it makes me feel powerful. So this isn't the character being evil, it's just it made me feel evil because I'm picking it for a selfish reason. And this is me picking Control on like the 7th playthrough or something, so I already knew what was to come. When I first played it, I didn't feel evil at all. It just felt like a strong shepherd protecting their galaxy. That's all it felt like. But I like being able to roleplay, and in my mind just thinking nobody can fuck with this galaxy anymore, with Shepard being in control and being the shield for this galaxy. And it makes me think now, beating the Halo series, catching up with it, it makes me think of Cortana and how powerful she looked at the end of Halo 5. So I'm gonna look at the Control ending differently now when I replay it.
Shepard, you're making a habit of costing me more than time and money.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. Getting a lot of bullshit on this line.
And then in Resident Evil 4, on the GameCube or the PS2 version, I remember killing the merchant after I unlocked like unlimited ammo, and it's just very funny. Like, there's no reason to kill him. You don't get anything out of it. It's actually like bad to kill him because then you can't sell anything, but after so many playthroughs where you don't even need anything anymore, it's so funny. It's so funny. I remember doing that as a kid and just making my cousin laugh because it was like, why did we kill this person just standing there minding their own business? Just because. And the last thing on my list that I love to do in a game that makes me do something really evil is in Fallout 3, where you activate the nuke in that town. It's so cool. It even lets you have like a good front row seat at what you're doing, and the game knows it. The game knows this looks so cool. So yeah, thanks for listening.